Guys, while we're setting up, do you have Rock's choice? Don't you glitch that bug you? It's already mad. That's been done for a while. Okay, so we'll just do one Rock's choice with a glitch, yeah?
Do you have any choices?
The next run we have coming up is Secret of Mana, run by Yagamoth and StingerPA. And right now we're going to show off some of the prizes that you can win during this. These include a Flammy Perler, a Elemental Sprites Perler, a Geistly Print, other assorted Perlers, and some CDs and art book of the game itself.
Does that actually change the route angle?
You have 5? Let me double check.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Ah.
6. All right,
Check it. Okay.
sounds good.
Excellent.
Number 4 here.
So,
I guess we need to get.
Hello, hello, hello.
yeah, just a little bit. Can you still see? Hopefully. So,
Prizes.
I'm not going to talk much. Okay. I could have a mic, but I don't know.
if necessary, Coaxel can give it
Yeah,
up.
I can lean over.
Yeah. Excellent. So yeah, I think my character has something to present right now.
We got some prizes.
PJ says this game is not broken enough.
We got a
You're wrong.
Spectrum mana book here and a CD. These are $10 for both of them, and they're pretty awesome. They got excellent artwork, and they are signed by the team that made them. We also have 3 more CDs of the same thing. They're $5 each, and this little bitty perler I made. Flammy. I don't know if you guys. This is $20, So, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
Why does it go out? I can't tell.
little small perler I do in my free time.
The entire mana fortress.
Yeah, we got a prince. That is.
Yep. That's where we're going to broadcast from next year.
How much that last set?
Yes.
Are you going to be able to swap controllers with
Oh yeah, the main character perlers. We got perlers of those for $5.
So, what is the file name for the boy?
The boy's name that won is MV.
Got it.
Excellent. Shout out to the French people.
Yeah, they've done quite a bit for the names.
Yes.
But
Well, these are SD and not MD locked.
I wouldn't fit. Actually, it would. It would fit.
it'd fit, but I would want it.
We could do, does this have spaces? We could do mystery review too.
No spaces.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we don't need much luck.
Well, there is Buffy
And vampire.
and Vampire.
Everything else. And softbox. Don't forget the softbox. We're actually softbox earlier in practice, so.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one.
It's a really good sign. It's just soft locked and we don't know which concept.
Well, he does it. I do.
Stinger knows about it.
Soft lock here. He's like, yeah, that's just happened.
Alright, I'll count down. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, everyone. This is Secret of Mana speedrun. I am Yagamoth, and my buddy here is StingerPA, who is basically doing all the work until I can't join him. Secret of Mana is a co-op speedrun. Originally, we planned on having 3-player co-op, but unfortunately, one of our runners couldn't make it, Luigi Meister. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but we will still be using 3 controllers, just in a bit of a different fashion that you might expect. In any case, the entire speedrun can probably be summarized with being about precision and decision-making. It isn't particularly fast-paced, but you have to be really quick in making your decisions and reacting to randomness, as in RNG. RNG in this game is a very large factor. Almost everything can go wrong in one way or another, and we always have to be prepared for that. Especially in the early game, there are a lot of potential things that can go wrong, and we can easily die. Once we get more characters, it's much easier to recover from certain incidents, and it shouldn't be a problem at all after that. But especially in a certain spot, which I will point out, we can easily die, but I'm pretty confident it's going to work out.
Oh, I hope so.
Yes, indeed. So, about base mechanics for the game, when you run, you are committed to that direction to running, as in you have to stop running and refill your stamina meter until you can run again. The same goes for slashing with a sword. You deplete your stamina bar entirely, and unless you wait for the full bar to fill up, you will do only a fraction of the damage.
Also, something to point out about this cutscene, it auto-scrolls itself, so I don't have to press anything. I like that.
Yeah.
More cutscenes.
There need to be more
much
RPGs
like
with
that.
auto-scrolling text.
Yes. It's a bit slow, but whatever. In any case, if the text for some reason seems to scroll very slowly, and we are not pressing buttons, it's usually because it's an auto-scrolling cutscene. Sometimes we mess up and don't press buttons, but that's pretty rare.
You know, sometimes the game will mess with you because sometimes different controllers can have the text, and sometimes we don't know why.
It's very weird on how that works. But we are sure to encounter
The
something.
sequel has that issue too, with the controllers having mysterious control over the text.
Okay. So, initially here, Stinger is going to kill a few enemies, which are called rabbits here, on his way. And there are a few mechanics to those. Basically, he is not trying to level up the character, he is trying to level up the weapon. for leveling up the weapon, he needs to kill 11 enemies, so his weapon will level up. And that's basically the essential part which we will have to do before the Mana Fortress. Also, as you can see, usually he does 18 damage if his stamina bar is full, and sometimes he does only 14. The 14 damage is called low damage roll, and it occurs randomly at about 20–30% of the time. And that's one of the many random factors I pointed out earlier.
I got a lot of rabbits that time, a lot more than usual.
Yeah. As I said, we have to adjust on the fly and basically count how many enemies we kill and try to despawn certain enemies later on if that works out. So, and especially early on, there are quite a few cutscenes, so I have plenty of time to explain or for donation reading. But I think the first boss battle is pretty interesting to display because it's basically the only boss battle which we have full control over, almost full control over.
Yeah, there's very little that can go wrong in this battle.
Yes, indeed. The maximum that can go wrong in the first battle is he gets 4 low damage rolls total, which are for 14 damages, which means he has to do 1 more hit. That's very tame compared to what can happen with other bosses if you get bad luck. Well, that's one. So he simply stands next to the mantis ant and waits until he slashes and walks away. It's very simple manipulation.
We got 2.
Yep.
3.
3. Okay, no
Okay.
14. That's nice.
So it's basically as good as the fight can go.
Indeed.
You can get crits in this game, but it's a very, very low chance.
Yeah,
About 1% on that boss.
1 or 2%.
And you just don't count on that ever.
Yeah. Exactly. Whenever there's on the top written something just got whacked, that means that was a critical hit, which usually does double damage. But it's so rare, we basically don't count on that ever occurring. Also, later on, it's really not essential anymore to get critical hits. And there is also no way to manipulate them. It's purely random.
Yeah, the only time critical hits actually matter basically within the first 18 minutes, and then a couple points from then on, but it's not many.
Yeah. On a side note, during practice we considered for a minute, or actually we tried about using 2-player 1 controller for the start, and it worked out surprisingly well. But I felt like it would be a bit weird since there is so much to explain in this game, and I couldn't keep up with it while holding the buttons or the controller.
Yeah, we were able to do it, but it took a lot of focus, and we wouldn't have been able to give as good a commentary while doing it.
Okay. And one more thing to point out about movement, I guess, is diagonals are pretty much always faster. Also, there is a lot of subtleties which we do to manipulate enemy spawns. Right here, Stinger will try to despawn this flower, but it's a large portion of randomness whether it actually happens or not.
And it's also random if that flower spawns.
Yes, indeed. There is basically certain things we can do on every screen to increase our chances of it going really well, but overall, there's always the chance that it can go horribly wrong. In some places, that's worse than in others. For example, this flower here spawning, it's an inconvenience, nothing more. As in, basically there will never be a run which has absolutely good luck everywhere. There's too much randomness to it. And so here, another cutscene with a lot of text, which we basically speed through. I feel like we have...
This is definitely a good time for donation comments.
Yeah.
All right, before I start that, I would like to take a minute to plug our French and German restreams. Twitch.tv/MrMV is doing the French restream. He's been doing that for a while. It's one of the things doing over there. And Twitch.tv/EXE_DE is doing the German restream. And MV was actually the name for the boy in this game as well.
Yes.
He's restreaming and he's trying to save Vanna at the same time.
Excellent. So yeah. Also, I can point out the French guys and I think almost the German guys put quite a bit of research into the runs, so they are actually prepared for commentating on them. So a huge shout out to them and thank you for doing this.
Chrono Trigger 100%.
So yeah, really quick. We will get the option to save here, and we will do so. And also, we are going to reset back to the title screen by holding Start, Select L and R for a second. Well, less than a second, but whatever. And basically, this saves us 2 text boxes and having to walk all the way outside. So that's a little time saver. You will see the title screen a few times during the round for various reasons. Also, since the sword already leveled up, Stinger will now get the spear to level 1, which is the preparation for basically the next portion, well,
The rest of the game.
the rest of the game, I guess. Nice. Dismount that flower.
Bad luck with that mushroom, but it doesn't matter too much.
So yeah. Also, who thought cannon traveling was a valid method of getting around?
Apparently the game designers. Very safe.
Right now, or are you still?
Go for it.
So I just want to say that Simon Viklund, the composer for Bionic Commando Rearmed, his bid war for what NES game for a marathon he's going to remix is about to end. I'm giving a 30-minute extension up until 12:30, so you have about 40 minutes to donate. When the bidding war is closed, he's actually going to stream on his channel, twitch.tv/Simon Viklund, while he's composing, and he also recruited Brando from Dwayne and Brando to help with the lyrics of the remix.
Excellent. So real quick here, this area is actually extremely dangerous. A slight misstep can lead to our death. And so, basically...
The RNG is not with us.
Yeah, this is random.
No Mickey Mouse this time, though.
Well...
Or the cat, or whatever the special balloon is.
In any case, at least it's not at the beginning of the cave. If it happens to balloon you right at the start of the cave, there's a good chance that you will outright die. As I said, the most volatile part of the run is this early cave, because you have no second character to back up on. That's about it. So here we get the magic rope, which will be used in a few different fashions.
Some intended, some not.
I don't like that RNG.
Yeah.
That's better.
Excellent. So yeah, getting hit by those slimes is pretty dangerous because they split into multiple ones, and since they can stun lock you if they hit you, as in they hit you and while you're on the floor can do nothing, they can hit you again and again and you can do nothing about it. So it's better to be safe about them. Also, I would like to point out, running properly, as in moving through the level properly, is actually pretty tricky. I feel like Stinger is making this look way easier than it actually is, since I think you haven't made no mistakes so far. So,
Not many.
yeah. So the spear is now leveled up, and that's perfect before the Dwarven Cave. And now here is the first major glitch of the run. Right at the, well, shopping. Now, here's what he is doing. He buys a candy, he buys a medical herb, and closes the windows. Then he goes into the inventory, sets the cursor on the medical herb, goes back into the selling menu, sells the medical herb, sells the candy, goes out of the selling menu, and goes back into the selling menu. And now he sells
I like money.
Blats for a ton of money. So essentially what happens is we manipulate the game into selecting an empty.
Yeah, well, let him see what you're selling to.
Yeah,
a
flat item.
Which is the enemy, those
The
bats.
flying blats.
Yeah. Essentially what we are doing is tricking the game into selling literally nothing, which turns into blats. Eventually it will be nothing again. So that's pretty handy. Also, if you would like to know exactly how those things work, we have a knowledge-based site on the SDA wiki, since there is very little time to explain everything in depth. So also he is going to buy 2 more chain vests here, instead of only 1, which we actually need. This also has a very specific reason, which is the second big glitch of the game. So while trashing a certain item, the developers made a small mistake in their programming. Basically what he is doing is trashing items which he is currently wearing. The game makes then a mistake by, while unequipping the items he trashed, and now he has 0 of those respective items in his inventory.
But in Secret of Mana, 0 actually means 8.
Yes, indeed. 0 means 8 times use. But if we would pick up a chest with a medical herb, it would swing over back to 1, which would be pretty bad. So we don't want that to happen. So usually you are limited to a supply amount of 4, but getting this to 8 is really handy. Also, we are going to get some additional items. Usually those items in our runs are actually enough for the entirety of the run, and we don't need any more. Well, unless it goes horribly wrong.
Surprised the boys like 50,000. What? Here you go. I've got it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
A little too stingy.
Yeah, I'd like to
Got
just
more
be
where
able
that
to
came from.
buy the sprite there, but the game doesn't let you.
Yeah. Which is pretty interesting. I mean, I would love to have an option to simply spend that much money. I mean, I would have grinded it out if I didn't know about the glitch. So, he's almost done with the cutscenes and inventory stuff here in the town, and the next boss is about to come up.
So I forgot to switch to the sword here. I'll do that before the fight.
So yeah, remembering everything you have to do in order and with menu optimization is actually pretty tricky, since you have to be constantly moving. And I'm especially, let's say, bad at menus.
That's the word I would have used.
Well, as in, you have to switch ring menu, and it's pretty difficult if you never practice it. So whatever. Okay, here's the first boss. Stinger is going to use a very specific method to try and manipulate the spawns of the Tropic Hollow. I'm not sure if you messed it up already.
I don't think I did.
Nope,
I hit him at the right time.
Okay, if he hits him at the first possible moment, as soon as Tropic Hollow comes out every single time, the Tropic Hollow will actually stay above ground. Usually when you hit him, he will immediately dive down again. This is the manipulation to get 2 full damage swings in every single time. If we are lucky, we get crit or always full damage rolls on it, which would mean we would get a 4 cycle on him, which is actually pure luck, but it happens sometimes. I think that was the 4th one.
Yeah, he should die on this hit.
And he's down. Excellent. So, and right after this, it should be about 17, 18 minutes.
Yeah, probably about 18 minutes from now. And now, Gaga finally gets to do something.
Yeah! I'm done. with slackening, I guess. Well, almost.
Yeah, now he gets to pull his own weight.
So what's the sprite's name?
Batman?
Black man?
No.
All right.
Batman? Okay. Nice. Thank you very much.
I'm Black Man.
Yeah, Batman wouldn't actually fit.
Silly 6-character.
Yeah, I knew it was something else. It was rare. Okay.
Yes, okay. Also, by the way, by having 6 character names, we actually lose about 20 seconds during the entirety of the run, since every single character in a name will cost about 1 frame.
That's if all the characters have 6 character names.
Yeah, this is separate from actually having to input those names.
Raring to go.
Yeah, we're ready to go. Also, I have currently activated the 3rd controller because I'm going to set it up a bit different than what you're probably used to. So the story of this is we are both 1-player, 2-controller runners, which means we both use 2 controllers during our actual runs. The reason for this is, let me put it like this. You will see why we use at least 2 controllers. So much for this. A lot of glitches are actually only possible with at least 2 controllers. So,
using 2 controllers takes about an hour off the speed run.
yeah, approximately. So I'm going to set up my character right now. Equipping. And upside down. There we go.
He now has an upside-down controller.
Yeah.
Indeed. So, yeah, that's my technique.
I'm just
for
disappointed
having
you
2
don't have them
controllers.
taped together like when you, on your stream.
Yeah, sorry about that. The thing about this is taped together. I'm not practiced enough for it. Sorry about that. Just messed that up.
Yeah, the AI in this game for movement is really not that smart, so that's another really nice thing about having 2 human players playing this game too, is not having to constantly worry about your ally getting stuck behind corners and stuff.
Yeah, we'll demonstrate later exactly how bad the AI is.
Yes, I saw them practicing for that, and it did not disappoint.
Yes, indeed. It is pretty special, to say the least. So, one thing to point out, I tried to unselect my character, but for some reason the sprite is really bad at unselecting the character. What we tried to do there is actually dash around the corner, and basically the AI characters do not use up stamina to run. So when I unselect a character, the AI will run behind his character. Okay. Basically, the AI character will run without using stamina, and he could switch to the AI character and keep running basically right after switching to the character. But this time around, it didn't let me unselect for some reason. I really don't know why that happens sometimes, but I guess it happens. Also, barrels are really overpowered in this game. Just saying. On another note, even though the hairband is the weakest head item for the girl, it is still much, much better than nothing. So, and here are 2 werewolves. They are really nasty sometimes. And they are a pretty large factor of randomness. So I got that. Okay, if we simply stun lock them, the only thing they can do is exactly healing. And whether they heal or not, this is absolutely random. So we got 1. And one more thing, we are now trying to level up the... You need to hit.
Right.
We are trying to level up
range.
The sword right now to level up to level 2 for a special reason. You will soon see that. In any case...
what's the girl's name?
It is Reyes, R-A-Y-A-S.
Okay, Reyes. Okay. So yeah, leveling up the sword now is a bit different than before. We don't simply have to kill enemies, but we also have to let them kill by the boy, as in he has to do the last hit so he gets the full weapon experience. Oh, right. Oops. Yeah, I'm not good at menus.
He's good at the rest of the game, just not the menus.
So yeah, for the most part, Mr. Stinger will use the menus.
Well, when I can.
Indeed. So, as I said, sometimes it's simply better for the boy to keep hitting the enemies, and I do nothing, since a lot of enemies have recovery animations, which we cannot interrupt. And so it's better for the boy to do the maximum amount of damage, since he deals the most damage overall. So, also only the axe and the sword can whack away bushes.
What is down screen?
Yes, okay. So what we just did there is waited a tiny little bit for the eye on the left to spawn an enemy, since there can only be 3 enemies on the screen at any given point. Since there can only be 3 enemies on the screen at any given point, we basically despawned a flat that was a little bit further on the right. And so once again, there's no reason for me to hit this enemy right here, since it will only lower the damage output. Oops. Oh,
That's okay.
well, that was the AI.
I've gotten
Yeah,
Sure,
sometimes the
blame
AI.
the AI.
Sometimes the AI gets in the way, and he will kill us. Nice, thank you. So yeah, by the way, there are a lot of techniques which we can apply to speed up the run with having actually 2 players, such as taking different paths.
Who left?
I got him.
We have $50 for each sign.
Dank je, dankjewel.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, those 2
Okay.
walls, we don't want to get stuck there, because they can stun lock and outright kill you.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, actually I was. Wow.
name is too powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will heal the girl right now.
Okay. Before we go out.
Actually, before we hit the switch.
Switch. I'll let you do
There.
it.
Oh, you heal actually. You have the items. So,
I'll go to the switch.
we run up. Okay. There are a lot of things like these where we can simply abuse the fact that we have 2 players and go around one way. I unselect here. And also, since we are very much used to, since we are very much used to 1 player, 2 controller strategies, we also often will simply unselect 1 controller and not do anything. So, for example, right around here. Have fun.
Yeah, no, I get to have fun with 2
Yeah.
controllers.
Yeah.
You have to select it.
This is probably the toughest boss in the whole game, normally, just because you
Casual.
don't have good casual play, just because you don't have any magic yet.
You
Yeah.
can present issues in speedruns, but that's only if he really wants to troll us.
Yeah, well, it's mostly time loss, if anything at all.
Oh, it's on Sprite.
I'll wait for you to switch.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay, he didn't get unconscious, which is nice. And he decides to jump away immediately, which is annoying.
Yes, it is.
So I guess we have time to explain here. What we are doing is we are swapping out level 1 with a level 2 weapon.
Nah, that didn't work. Whatever, hold that here.
Yeah, that works.
There we go.
Nice.
You can have your controller back.
Thank you. So yeah, how this happens is actually pretty weird. Basically, we charge up a level 1 weapon, the spear, and swap it out with a second controller. That's why we need a second controller with the sword, which is level 2. And then we swap back to the spear, which happens to be, well, the game is not prepared to level down a weapon if that happens. And it's simply every single frame, I think, or every second frame, I'm not sure, it will basically charge up another level of the weapon charge. And to give you a perspective, this just now was about a level 80 attack, and usually the maximum level you can prepare your weapon to load up for is level 8 in the end game. So that's quite a difference. So essentially we are dealing the maximum amount of damage possible with a few issues. Well, that's for later. So I think that's a good time to read some donations.
All right, to start with, the Simon Viklund remix, which currently has 23 minutes left. Mega Man 2 is winning by $1 over Kid Icarus. So for anyone donating for Kid Icarus, you might want to get on that. Or keep Mega Man 2 in the lead, who knows. We have a $100 donation from Jason6223. I've watched many charity streams on SDA now, and they never disappoint. Lots of friends and family have fallen to cancer in the world around me these past couple of years, so take these $100 and stuff them in cancer's ugly face. $60 from Bowie Alexander. Hi there all, greetings from the, I don't know, some word, I think it's misspelled, UK. Bowie here. I wanted to firstly congratulate everyone at the event for their amazing work. Last year I found out about this wonderful marathon which got me into speedrunning. I've never looked back. I lost my grandfather to lung cancer a few years back, which sucks, quite frankly. He was a good man and he'd be overwhelmed without the love you're showing. Keep on fighting a good fight and help people in the future.
I hit the left one. Oh. So yeah, I don't like fish. Okay. So, and here you can see it once again. He charges up his weapon to, well, the maximum level, swaps to a lower level weapon, and this weapon overcharges. And the enemy dies.
Yes.
Nice little cameo by the boss theme there.
Yeah. Killed the second floor.
So, also, for some reason, the boy cannot move during Magic Rope animation. However, the sprite and the girl can still move. So what we just did is the boy called up the magic rope to get back to the entrance of the cave, and me as the sprite simply ran further into the trigger for the cutscene with Undine. So you have that conversation now at the entrance of the screen, which looks a bit weird since basically the girl and the sprite are stuck now, and only the boy can move out.
Yeah, if I wanted to, I could just leave this controller here and I couldn't do anything. But I wouldn't do that.
So.
Actually, I guess you could do that.
True. You can.
I blame my controller.
Yes, indeed. You did at all practice.
We have a $50 from donation from Tony Cozens. Secret of Mana is my favorite game. Been waiting for this run. Love seeing all the glitches and speedruns. Good luck to the runners and keep up the good work with the marathon.
Thank you.
$50 from Sky Dragon. Hey guys, great marathon so far. Secret of Mana is so hype. Put my money towards Castlevania Symphony of the Night. $25 from Cyberbot X. It's time for the mana tree to be saved. Good luck to StingerPA and Yagamoth and their young.
Mana tree? There's a mana tree? Sorry about that. Spoilers.
Yes. Too many spoilers on that one.
Yeah.
So he always gets landed on.
Who knows?
We have a $20 donation from Soli. Thank you all for this great event. Listening to Secret of Mana music instantly brings back so many childhood memories. A $20 donation from Techly FR. Nice AGDQ, I loved. $20 donation from Shadow Draft, Secret of Mana Hype, Crushers Games, StingerPA and Yagamoth. It's going to be a fun time. $20 donation from Corodius. I just want to tell you both good luck. We're all counting on you.
So there are a lot of little optimizations we can do, especially with 2 controllers. For example, for every screen transition, there is a tiny little bit of lag, or sometimes a little more. So we let here 3 enemies spawn, so none of the enemies on the left. Unfortunately, we got hit, but that doesn't really matter. So in any case, as I said, up to 23 frames, which is about 1/3 of a second, we can save by quite simply letting one controller run in and the other one can move for some reason already earlier. So by default, we already gain about a minute or 2 minutes. I'm not sure
I think
how
it's
much.
about a minute.
A minute, okay. It's about a minute we save by simply having 2 players online instead of 1. And in a 1-player 2 controller run, we cannot save quite as much time. So usually the fire guy is here is not as trolly, as in he simply stands around until he gets killed. But this time around, he decides to disappear instantly, which costs a bit of time. But with a bit of good timing, he can die. And this was unfortunately a low damage roll.
All right, good.
Yes, got it. Okay, this was unfortunately a low damage roll, but as a backup, we essentially simply cast 1 freeze, and he will die to that, since he only has about 815 HP, I guess?
Yeah.
So yeah, it costs a bit of mana, but
It doesn't really matter because we're going to get a mana refill at,
Oh, yeah, that's
at the
right.
Water Palace.
we can't do that here. You get it? Do you have the cutscene?
I don't know. So we're just going to mash because neither one of us knows who has text.
Yeah, that's a frequent problem, actually. Oh, I'm sorry. So we could also use the magic rope here and then trigger the mana seed. However, the problem is, as you can see, the characters walk in the cutscene pretty far down there, and essentially we would land right behind the entrance, so it wouldn't help us at all. In fact, we would have to use the magic rope again to get back to the entrance, which is a bit weird.
The one we use in Undine's Cave is actually the only useful opportunity to use it.
Yeah, it's all, the one in Undine's Cave only saves a few frames at most, I think, but it looks cool, so why not? So, also here we cannot use the magic rope, otherwise we would land right back at the entrance of the Earth Temple. I think it's the Earth Temple.
Underground Palace. Same difference.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Originally I played the PAL version, so I'm still not used to all the names in English. So yeah, for a quick second there, I unselected the second controller, so I could actually run without losing stamina. Or, yeah, that's essentially it. So there are a lot of those little optimizations, and you will see them throughout the run. I will not point every single one of them out, that would be way too much. But also one thing to note, we only had about 4 days of practice before the marathon, since in case anyone is wondering, I'm Swiss, and that's quite a bit away from America. So we couldn't practice before this event, but I feel like it shaped up really well. There are still a lot of minor optimizations we could do, and we are not going to force, since that would be really high level. But overall, it's going to be pretty solid, I feel.
Yeah, we picked up on each other's player pretty quickly.
Yeah, that was really nice, actually. So here, the first ruins are actually pretty interesting place, I have to go.
Yeah.
And the first ruins are interesting because it's very specific on how we move. Because sometimes we can disarm an enemy by simply moving in a certain way, running against the wall, or basically removing some randomness by hitting an enemy instead of simply trying to run past, even though we could. As I said, most of the rooms there, yeah, that sword is infamous. Most of the times we have about a 50 to 80% chance of succeeding with our strategy. Oops, wrong way. And that's about it. The 50 to 60% it's about as good as it can get. As I said,
I believe the reason you used a medical herb there was just to cancel out the effects of that spell.
Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
The slowdown would have slowed me down considerably. You would move at half speed.
Yes, as if you were constantly charging up a weapon. Dashing is about 50% faster than actually walking, so that's the reason why often we want to dash quite a bit. So, and here the next boss is actually the first boss which has an evasion rating, which means he has a 40% chance of straight up dodging our attack, which means it is purely random whether we will hit him and kill him in one shot or not. We have to be prepared for that, so I will basically move the sprite right in front of his face. Well, it's a face wall.
Raw face.
And yeah, essentially absorb all spell damage, since most bosses target most of the spell to the nearest character. Also, it's quite ironic that a wall is the first enemy that actually has an evasion rating. So yeah, I'm basically meat shield right now, doing nothing. Nice.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I mean, when I played this as a kid, I always just assumed that the game had really bad hit detection, but that's actually evasion. The game doesn't give you any kind of obvious sign that enemies evade your attacks, that you just whiff, basically.
Yes, indeed.
Really bad hit detection.
Well, that too, yeah.
It's not as bad as you think.
Yeah, it's actually pretty predictable. It's fine. Since he had to go.
Yeah.
And for some reason, even though he has the first controller active and he killed the boss, I still get to smash through the cutscene, the text. I don't know what's up with that, but I guess it works. Nice. That was excellent Chema RNG. As in, he can walk all over the place until we can talk to him, but that's about it. Also, you can walk backwards, that's the thing.
You run backwards, too.
Yeah. We can run backwards through the city, in theory. But that will slow us down, just a
No, it
little.
won't. Well, backwards it would.
Yeah, sideways as well. So yeah, it doesn't cost any time doing this, by the way. So you're safe for that.
It's a technique called moonwalking. All you do is hold R and B at the same time.
Or L works too.
Or L.
That bouncy thing is going to play a very important role later on in the run, too.
Spoilers.
We hope.
Well, we hope, actually.
We had a lot of trouble with it early in practice
Yeah.
for no apparent reason.
It's interesting. I got it. So, don't forget to save after the kill, Roy.
Yes.
So yeah, there are quite a few safety saves we are going to do because for some enemies, they can straight up kill us if we are simply unlucky. And for others, it is so finicky, and one tiny mistake can basically also spiral into our deaths. And we don't want to lose too much time overall. So those safety saves are pretty much required for Madison's safety.
Not to be.
He's the worst enemy.
Yeah, poor Bee. So yeah, in
Well, I
case
can't control where the cannon travel goes. Well, we'll see.
Oops. I got it. So the next boss is pretty interesting in the sense of he's quite dangerous in case the boy misses his attack and doesn't kill him outright. In practice, we kill him every single time with the first attack, and I'm pretty sure this won't happen right now.
Yeah, marathon luck is definitely going to bite
Yeah.
us.
The reason why it's pretty important to kill him with the first shot is there is a good chance he will hit the boy and right up Moogle him. And Moogling the boy means we have to set up the overcharge glitch again, heal the boy and unmoogle him, and yeah, that's about that. So
Yeah, we called that one.
excellent. Uh-oh, you're immune.
Okay. All right. That probably would have been if I missed.
Yeah, he would have Moogle, dude. We have one in the Moogle counter already, so that's
Yeah.
nice. So yeah, also the kill roll is pretty infamous for, even though you hit, you get a low damage roll. Again, about 20 to 30% of the time. Safe. On the right.
Okay.
And even though you hit the kill roll, he will survive because he has almost 1000 HP. So we're going to save here because the next boss is the Jabberwocky. The Jabberwocky is pretty interesting in the sense of every single boss has that actually, action and a reaction ability. Oops. The action ability can be anything and the reaction can be anything. So for the Kilroy to kill us outright, we have to hit him but not kill him, which means a low damage roll, which is in itself already about 16%, I think, chance
I'm
to
not
happen.
sure what it is.
Plus their Yeah, that's about 16% chance to happen. Plus, he needs to both times cast either acid rain or poison gas, which is also a relatively low chance of happening. So, even though it's a very low chance of happening, it can still outright happen, and it's outside of our control, so be better safe in front of it. Usually, obviously, in a normal speedrun, we wouldn't save at all until, well, in a special place.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah. And yeah, that's hard.
So right now we have about 5 minutes left on the Simon Viklund NES song remix, and currently Kid Icarus is now in the lead with $700 to Mega Man 2 with $651. Just saying again, that's 5 minutes. If you want to see Mega Man 2, you should donate.
Okay, good.
Nice. Running through that corridor with the fishman is actually pretty tricky. First controller has it. Yeah, second one. Yeah, running through that corridor with the fish is about a 50% chance to get through without being harassed by those fishmen. And so it's pretty lucky if we get through. And on average, it's our best option. Also, by the way, hitboxes are interesting. So yeah, hitboxes in this game work like this. A melee weapon will have double the reach in boss fights, and this boss has a very weird hitbox.
Miss.
So that was a miss, or an actual miss, as in an evasion.
There we
So
go.
yeah, that was basically... That was basically a hit from very far away. We could stand even further away and still hit him, because for some reason his hitbox goes from about his belly button way below his feet. And since melee weapons have double the reach, we can stand really far away.
Yeah.
So hitting his head will not do anything, by the way. Oops.
Oops. Okay.
That happened. Right. Yeah, you can do that, by the way.
It's only a few monoseeds you can actually do like that, but
Yeah, we only just figured that out in practice, by the way. So you can only do that if the mana seeds are glowing, and for some reason those have a larger hit rate, activation radius. So that's very handy to do. It saves a few frames, but it looks really nice. Also, by the way, we are always trying to sidestep stairs wherever possible, since, as you can clearly tell, running
I don't know what it is.
running on stairs is actually very slow. Every other frame you stop for 5 frames or something like that. It's a lot of time loss. So if we can get off the stairs really quickly, that's really beneficial. So, and finally, after about 50 minutes, we are out of the first area and into the upper lands. And this is where the run starts getting a bit more interesting, I think. Slowly but surely.
You'll take spring beef, right?
Yes.
Okay. I should have used cannon travel to get to the marathon this year. Probably would have had less weather problems.
Yeah, that would be pretty fast. Although I feel like without a parachute.
You wouldn't have to worry about the cancellations.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we have to talk with any Moogle. So Stinger is trying to capture a Moogle and talk to him.
Successfully captured.
Yes, that was actually pretty much perfect. And so, I take the pebbles, by the way.
Okay.
So yeah.
Nice.
And now it's on my turn to use the overcharge attack. For some reason I have 2 controllers, as in one upside down. That's my technique of using 2 controls at once. It gives me a little bit more freedom with walking around while having 2 controllers. So that's pretty handy. I missed the first one. I think that's a good one. Yeah, okay. You want to have the bonus attack. By the way, those pebbles are horrible. They have actually boss level evasion. I'm not joking about that. Yeah. You have a 40% chance to miss them. It's really annoying.
Oh,
So,
nice.
okay. So that was actually a really good pebbles because we killed them relatively quick. I had them take up to a few minutes until they finally decided to let me go. So they can be really horrible. By the way, we hate owls. Owls are one of the worst enemies. Wow. So, and the door goes up to the right. Oh, that's me.
Yep.
So yeah, the AI has the tendency to run into everything. So we have to be relatively careful about manipulating the AI characters.
Actually, that was me.
Yeah, but whatever. In any case, that's
AI
a
is
general
bad.
theme. We have, in general, very specific paths we take to not get hit by AI, like enemies for the AI. And it usually, you have to buffer. I take that one. Just so I have something. Oh, where are you going?
Speaking of weird hitboxes, this guy has a pretty
Yeah,
weird one.
Yeah, the hitbox for this guy, his beak is actually a shield. So if you come in contact with his beak, you will not damage him.
Okay, nice.
Nice.
So yeah,
So you have to hit him from the back or the top of the head.
exactly. If you hit his beak during any point of your attack, you will do 0 damage. And that's what most people basically didn't realize, I guess.
I always had to use no magic to kill this guy.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
think I
one.
just soft clicked myself. Yes, I did.
I walked down for that. So
Oops.
there is a chance, well, actually not a chance, that you can soft lock your game if you walk behind the tree after killing the spring beak. And I did that during a pretty good run, so that was not great. So I go down right.
What?
I go down right.
Yes. You go down right, I go down left. And it
Exactly.
will look amazing.
So hopefully you will see some of the screen manipulation and running manipulation that a 2-player run can do. Maybe it will work out, hopefully. So obviously, all the way running is much faster, but we cannot run in a curve. We only can run in a straight line, unless also saving here because it costs barely any time. Okay, we can run in the curve, can't run in the curve unless we basically block each other's movement by moving the screen. You cannot get too far from each other, so that's pretty handy. We haven't figured out many places where we can do that, only so. So also, I walk to the left here a little bit higher, so it spawns more rabbits, well, silktails, those guys on the top, which is pretty good. So.
The NES song remix has come to a close just a few minutes ago, and Kid Icarus won with $772 being donated
I
for
thought
it.
I was a boy.
Yeah,
And
that happens.
with that, we have now donated currently $290,000 in total.
So basically, this is one adaptation we did. Technically, it would be faster if I would select my character right here, but here in this town, I would have to unselect my character since it lags so much. And so, yeah, I can select it again very soon. Also, the first skip of the run is coming up right about now. Here, Stinger with his AI character will straight up move through that mushroom and proceed by simply repeatedly pressing select again and again. Also, this area is incredibly annoying if you have two AI characters running around. But already with 2 players, it's much better. It's amazing how much better that is.
That's unusual.
I take the sprite.
Okay, I've got the boy now.
I did. Okay. Those owls are, by the way, very annoying. They cause confusion almost all the time. I'm pretty amazed they didn't up to now.
Nice call.
You are that one.
MV luck.
So yeah, actually they've been pretty nice so far. Well, that's surprising. So as soon as you're confused, they will actually hunt you down. As in, they attack so quick, they will stun lock your character, and you cannot move at all.
Oh wow, 2 of them are.
Yep. I'm used to backwards controls, no problem. So, I cannot pass spells until it's normal again.
Oh,
It should be normal about now.
It also casts silence.
Yeah, that's the minor effect, I guess.
Usually that doesn't matter, even though the spell itself is called silence.
Should I get the point?
Yeah, I'll switch off
Okay,
in the next room.
that's fine. The spray is backwards. Oh,
Yes.
I'm spray.
9. I'm now. Whatever.
Yeah, that's one of the things we have to consider. Because since we only have a few days to practice, a lot of have to be, wow, really?
Really? Okay, good.
Okay. A lot has to be on the fly.
Stay down here.
Backwards. Even the menus are backwards, by the way, which is pretty weird. Spell lock. So yeah, basically it would be much faster to not use spell lock right here. Buffer for me. Okay, I got it. But it's much safer to use a spell which does no damage at all, simply for locking down the boss's movement, especially for the Great Viper. This is very handy. Since, yeah, he can wreck you pretty bad. In our practice room just before, we realized we should probably spell lock again, since in our actual runs, we don't spell lock down the boss, most bosses anymore, except for a few.
There's a few towards the end of the run that will be using spells to lock them down,
Yeah,
so they
it's
can't do anything.
pretty much mandatory. So also there's coming another scene up where I can lock off and Stinger has to do the work, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, carry this team.
Yeah, he's basically doing all the work and then doing the talking. I guess that works out.
Well, most of the time.
So I switch off right about now.
Okay.
Okay. Also, real quick, I would like to donate something. Do I have to go to this too? Because I would like to have those prizes as well.
Those are some pretty amazing prizes.
So yeah, that's pretty handy.
So some people who played this game might remember that you have to go to the Ice Palace in the Ice Country to get the fire seed before going to the desert. But the problem with that is you can't actually go to the desert directly from the Ice Country afterwards until you've cleared the sand ship cutscene, which is what we're going for now. So it actually ends up being about 20 seconds faster optimally, and that's in the tasks. So it ends up being even more for real-time runs.
Oops. Also, by the way, I'm still not playing. The reason for this is the upcoming cutscene, which has a little glitch in it. If you select the sprite, I'm come from the left. Normally, characters are supposed to walk in the middle and spread out, but for some reason, you will see they will get stuck midway running.
For some reason, they never separate out.
Yep.
And that makes it easier to get to the exit up here.
Excellent. So, hey, I didn't know you can run there. So, on the sand ship, we get separated, and I selected the boy right now. The reason for this is the upcoming boss is, it's pretty handy if you can move around with two characters at once, so that's why we decided to let me do this boss. Also, he is pretty significantly more difficult if you are only one player with two controllers. The reason for this is, if you are unlucky, the boss you will miss the boss, and he is programmed to rush at you and go to the other side of the arena. It takes a lot of time if that happens. By having three characters controlled by actual humans, we can easily avoid that issue and simply step aside. Also, moonwalking. Also, this guard here is a troll. In at least 2 of my runs, he went out the door, don't go there, and I couldn't go outside for about half a minute since he blocked the exit. So yeah, that's the thing. I think we got it. Also, the sprite space is amazing right here. I really like it. So shout out to Luigi Meister, who should have been our 3rd runner and unfortunately couldn't make it. It would have been a really amazing 3-player run, but I hope it's also really good as 2-player.
Yeah. It would have been a little bit harder to coordinate with 3 people, but it would have been so much better to just have no AI going anywhere.
I had the cutscene.
I know.
Have it, I guess. So. So yeah, we are moving all 3 characters manually right now.
I think you're a little high.
Nice. Excellent. This is the last boss we can one-shot. Also, as you may notice, we stop the overcharge at specific levels. We basically know which level is going to result in which attack. Often it's actually really good to use an overcharged normal attack, as if you were normally slashing, but do a ton of more damage. Sometimes we use special attacks. I'm stuck.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Sometimes we use special attacks for various reasons. For example, special attacks have invincibility, and which is really handy. Also, they have a much larger attack radius and attack duration, so that's also really good. We didn't use...
I don't think we've used enough medical orbs.
We used 2, so we cannot restock.
Is that 2 or 3?
That was 2.
Fine. Okay, good.
So yeah, menu optimization is quite thin, by the way, here. So in the next portion, Stinger will switch to the goal, equip us everything.
I did.
Excellent. Equip everything, and then immediately go out of the equipment menu and cast Frost Saber. Frost Saber is pretty interesting in the sense of it actually does not apply Frost element. It only attacks a small attack bonus, but it doesn't change your actual weapon element, which is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the Frost Guidance, which is one of the next bosses, actually casts Frost weapons on you, which would be pretty clever if they were actually Frost element. But since that's how it is, it's only handy for us. Also, Frost weapons have the unique ability of freezing enemies, which is really handy, especially in this area. This area is really difficult to get through without freezing all those wolves, because they have a large attack radius and are extremely aggressive.
It's making me hungry for Wendy's.
I think
That's unfortunate.
it should work out. I'm a bit slow here.
Yeah, that was a slowdown. You were able to cancel it earlier without the medical orb animation earlier, but
That was probably not worth it. So we spawned up there a wolf, so in the middle there are usually 3 wolves spawning. So by doing this, we basically manipulated the spawns. Oops. And for the next enemy. Boom. Okay. Again, we only have about a 60% chance to hit those enemies, so I'm pretty amazed we are hitting that often right now. Yeah, never mind. I was too far away. That was not actually a dog. Okay, that was really nice. So yeah, basically what we decided on is Stinger takes the bosses which require more precision than movement, and I take those which take more movement. Since I feel like Stinger is more consistent in getting the correct attack, but I can move around a bit better.
yeah, he's able to move the characters around and cutscenes a bit easier than I am. So it really helps out for those that you have to get around the map.
So, and for a very, very short time, one of my favorite music tracks plays,
And it replaces this one.
which is my least favorite.
Yeah, mine too. Oops.
I didn't know you can open the menu there. I think you pressed Y.
Yeah, I accidentally pressed Y and said no.
Whoops. So yeah, by the way, subtle optimization here. We selected the sprite and the girl. Hang on, music. And it's over. Okay. Subtle optimization here. We selected both the sprite and the girl since the boy is right behind the stove. The stove is considered an NPC, and AI control character can move right through the stove. We can't, so that's the small optimization. Just want to point that out. Also, Ninja Turtles. Where are you? There he is.
Like I said, or like Yaga said, ninja.
Yeah, those turtles are amazing. They get us every time somehow. Also, this screen is one of the worst in terms of enemy spawns. it gives you 3 enemies in a very, very small field to get through.
Also, those howlers, the wolves, have gigantic hitboxes.
Attack radius. Flop, flop. You will never want to get hit by those blue slimes because they freeze you, and either use a medical herb to undo the freezing, or simply, well, wait it out, which takes about 10 seconds. So,
Oops, sorry, swap characters.
not quite. I will swap soon. Yeah, and that's one of the RNG elements. Nothing I can do about that. Wow, really? That's
Oh,
impressive.
she didn't get Moogled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Moogle counter still on 1. So, there you go. So, in this area it lags quite a bit. So, you can clearly see Stinger will try to get a very specific overcharge attack.
This looks very cool if he gets it.
No.
Next one. Oh,
Got it.
nice. Also, one of the next major glitches coming up also. Split up. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the blue slime spawned in the bottom. It doesn't usually do that.
Yeah, it could have simply walked past. Whatever. Okay, next glitch is we cast something, hit the rope ball, and run through the wall. So, there we go.
The way that works is by hitting the rope pole, we activate. Oops. Actually, you explain it. Otherwise, I'm
Okay, that's
gonna-
fair. Really? Okay. Basically, by hitting a rope pole, we activate a rope pole check. That means the game checks whether the character is standing in the right place, has the right weapon, hits the right rope pole to do, well, the jump over a rope pole gap. But it freezes the game for a short period of time, and usually you are unable to do anything during that period. But by simply casting a spell, it will cancel out the spell. Also, he's a jerk right now.
Yes.
Okay.
So both of the ghosts decide to disappear immediately.
So
And
usually
control.
you are unable to walk while you are hitting a rope pole, but by using a spell prematurely, it is pretty easy to avoid that issue. So yeah, if we hit him once, we only need to hit him twice. He has a pretty good evasion rating, by the way.
Unfortunately, his magic attacks don't have much of a punch because he targets all of us, and that weakens the attack. Yes.
I will heal though.
Thank you. Buffer. Nah.
This is RNG.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
it
the
is.
RNG basically. They've literally, up to now we played perfectly, and there's nothing we can do about that. Now we can hit.
Another dodge.
Another.
I wait for it.
Girl.
Yeah,
Buffer.
sorry about that.
Okay. That'll be
I could show it
work.
work out.
It might work.
So yeah, when the girl is crowd controlled, I have to buffer for him, which is not what you usually are used to. That's sure. So I would suggest you take another charge attack.
Yeah. That's a good one.
It's one of my favorite charge attacks. It's quick and really precise. Oops.
Really?
So yeah, he just gave us rough weapons. As I pointed out earlier, they don't actually have frost element to them. Also,
Yeah,
just
they
in case.
forgot to add that element into the code.
Yeah.
Or
And
rather,
so,
they forgot to complete
in
it.
theory, we would do half damage, but in actuality, we don't. Nice, finally.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Yeah, actually, we saved Santa.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. So, that's how a fight in Secret Mana can look. You can by playing well and deciding the right things at the right time, you can essentially tone down a lot of the time loss you would get by bad RNG. But overall, there are a few key spots like this fight specifically, which can absolutely screw you over and you can do nothing about that. Other than that, it's really amazing to play this game.
Second controller.
Oh yeah, right. It's really amazing to play this game. Basically work around all those things that can happen. Also, a small demonstration here, by the way, because of why we don't really want to deal with AI characters. Both of them are yeah.
This is the secret amount of AI.
Yeah. Both are now AI controlled.
Good job, Squaresoft.
The pathfinding is spectacular.
So Santa did them a favor by giving them the frost weapons for the backpack.
Yeah, that was actually really nice. So that's a positive mode. So that's the best thing Santa, the frost tigers can do is either die immediately or give us frost weapons, which are really handy actually.
Does the higher level frost saber give you more charges?
Yes.
Yes.
You can use more charge, or you can frost you more enemies that way.
Yes, indeed. It doesn't actually increase the damage though. It still remains at about 10% damage bonus. So, oops.
That doesn't matter.
Okay. And here, as you can see, we can go straight to Kakara. Usually he would say he doesn't have enough gunpowder to blow you over to Kakara, and you would have to go via Matango. That's because the Desert Sandship cutscene was not completed yet. I think we have a bit time for donations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a $20 donation from Shadow M. How can I not donate on one of the best games out there? Mana Hype. A $50 donation from Allison Hell. Shoutouts to the boys and girls behind the scenes for doing an awesome job, and to Mecca for making so much beautiful art. $50 from Professor NES. Always wanted to see a co-op Secret of Mana run live. It's even more awesome being streamed. Best of luck. Looking forward to the awesome breakage. $100 from Chrono Joel. Hi, Chrono Joel here. Both my mother and mother-in-law are breast cancer survivors, so what you're doing here is really important to me. I hope to contribute to running myself in the future. $50 from Captain Falcon. Yagamoth's two-hand style is intense, but he needs to tape the controllers together. Secret of Mana is the best game. Gotta throw in for the Prince and Pearls. $20 from Luigi Meister. Hey guys, Luigi Meister here. Sorry again for not being able to make it, but things happen. This is obviously the best game to donate during. Praying for one cycle Buffy.
Yeah, thank you, Luigi Meister. As I said, he would be our third co-op partner, and it would have been really amazing to have him here. Things happen, as he said.
$30 from L. Christian. Hi everybody at AGDQ. Let's see one of my childhood memories get broken. Thanks to everybody involved in making GDQ events always a success. $50 from Socrates Johnson. One of my favorite games ever. Good luck on Secret of Mana. $100 from Deathly Cloak, donating during one of my favorite games from way back when. My mother survived cancer, so I'm really glad to see another excellent AGDQ to help ensure others don't have to deal with the same issue. Keep up the good work, guys, and be proud of yourselves.
Oh, you have to. I got it. So yeah, what we just did there was another small walk through the wall by simply hitting a rope hole there. It saves a little bit of time, and most importantly, it saves actually the trouble of going next to those archer guys, which can be really random.
Before we figured out we could do a rope hole skip there, it was always a pain to try and get by them.
Wow.
Oh, that's unlucky.
I can
survive it.
Yeah. So yeah, most of the time this Minotaur guy is really easy to beat. He doesn't cause much of a trouble. Ready to mash?
Yes.
So let's see whether we get the next trick. It's a bit random, but we have a good chance at it. Oh, okay. Basically what we could do here is remote talk to the seed. The cutscene stops us just in front of the basically spawn point of the seed, and I think it's when the seed just spawned and you hit B, it is always true to interact with, if that makes sense. And yeah, you can basically talk to the seed right from where we were standing. Unfortunately, that didn't happen this time. So I would like to restock some.
What do we have to restock?
Hang on. Let me think about this.
I don't think we have anything to restock.
Let me think about this. I think medical herbs are actually pretty. I'm not sure.
I can check real quick until we land.
Yeah. Simply check real quick. As in, we want to really make sure that the run will actually complete. If we don't have enough resources to spend, there could potentially be a problem in some places. By the way, it's very interesting in how the third character is programmed, because it is basically tacked on a little bit. And here, usually we need a bit of a different setup to get past a cutscene, but here, I simply
disconnect the third controller, and that allows me, the first controller, to move all the way through. And there's a trigger there normally, but instead you just walk past the guard.
Yes. Yeah. The trigger basically makes the guard walk up and request a password. There are 3 ways to get past him without giving him the password, so that's something. And one of the ways requires a very precise movement, but it's much better if we don't have to do that. Also, basically what happens is the third character or controller, if he gets disconnected for any reason, the game is programmed to release that character. And so he is AI controlled again. And if we talk to an NPC at this point,
Use balloon. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'll work too.
These slimes are really scary. Let him spawn. We let him spawn 3 blobs. So down here, less enemies should spawn, or especially not the next blob. What in the practice happened is we spawned this blob down here. The main character got frozen as a snowman, and we walked into this cutscene, which soft lost the game. I didn't know that before. So that's pretty amazing.
I knew that, but I only thought of that as we were going into the cutscene. Oops.
Yeah, you can check.
Yeah,
Real quick.
check that.
Check the candies.
6 candies.
2. Okay, that's one of them. But that's fine. You can try to duplicate them.
Yeah, I'll do that in this next stream.
Yeah, that's good.
I need to trash that, don't I?
You should equip it again. The other thing, the helmet.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, we have with 8 candies again. So that's better than dying because it's much faster. I have to unselect the character right here because once again in town it's very laggy, and if we have 2 or 3 players active during this town, it would take a lag much more. Also, right after this cutscene, we have another chance at a remote interaction. I really hope we get this one because that's much more awesome. Even though it costs a little bit of time, it looks really interesting. Also, hang on, we have to go back, we have to save. Oh. Sorry about that, yeah. It's really crucial that we save right here, because a lot in here can go wrong. Even though in our practice, none of our practice runs ended here, as in it was always really solid, but we know how much can go wrong from our single player runs, so we really should go and save.
I'm glad you remembered that.
Yeah. Come on. Oh, okay. Basically what could happen here, I unselect.
Okay.
Basically what could happen here is we can open the chest on the balcony from down there. This is, again, I'm not quite sure how that works, but that's the thing, simply remote talking.
I think it's because the game doesn't know where we are, so
Yeah,
it just puts us somewhere.
Yeah, it's either that the game doesn't know where we are, or it doesn't know yet where the chest is because it just spawned or something like that. At some point, I remote talk to, well, I can point it out later. In any case, the second ruins here are very specific on how we want to travel through them. Simply move a little bit to the side here, not get hit by that. Try to get through those, simply straight up. Here, the first player does not want to run, and usually the AI doesn't get hit. As again, most of the time, there is simply only a chance that everything will go okay and as planned, but we are pretty consistent on this one here. So here, blue blop, blop blop, and we run past. And here, next room we want to simply hit that guy before he hits us, and that's pretty much random whether we get that or not. Also, synchronization. Oops. You step on the switch.
Okay.
Yeah, this is also a benefit of the two-player run. Stepping on that switch is usually in our one-player runs. We have to step on the switch.
Okay.
We have to freeze balloon those slimes, otherwise we will get hit every single time. Also, the sprite is almost dead. Just
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Now he is dead.
yep. Yeah, that's the AI.
You can't keep Batman down.
Okay. Didn't get up.
Oops. I messed up.
So who are you?
I am the girl now.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we are used to
You want to take the
quickly.
boy?
Yes, we are used. I want to heal the boy, by the way. Right around here. No,
Okay.
next. Let's heal him in the next room. Yeah, we are used to quickly swapping characters, both of us running. Unselect, swap. I'm a bit early anyways.
Yeah.
So we are both used from our one-player to control run up to quickly swap character and get in position once again. Nice. To basically recover from any mishaps or quirks that can happen everywhere, I guess.
Like that boss if we messed up on it.
Yeah, that was the wall. Unfortunately, we killed him already. But he's
That's actually
pretty
very
special.
fortunate.
Yeah, he is pretty special. If we mess up and get the wrong charge attack and accidentally kill both of the eyes before we kill the middle portion, bad things happen. Very bad things. If you've never seen that, don't try it. Essentially what happens, he has two special attacks, which do a ton of damage.
They do a ton of damage and control your characters so you can't open the menus with them.
Yes, and recovering from that attack is extremely difficult, especially if he decides to grab the boy.
stabbed him in the head with a spear and that woke him up.
Yes.
Pretty much. On a side note, the next boss is basically the most infamous, one of the most infamous of the speedrun, because it's not that he is the most random, it's simply in case he decides to play around with you, there's literally nothing you can do. At least for the Ice Geigers, you get a chance to hit him every once in a while. For the vampire, in my first run, he stayed in the air for 5 minutes. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah. And that's not too uncommon.
Yeah.
He has two things he can do. He can fly around or he can jump around on the ground. Right now he's deciding to fly around. And we can't do anything to him.
Oh, is he coming now?
Yes.
Hit him. Oh. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I get the right attack. The crit. You have to buffer for me next time.
And we use the spell lockdown on him.
Yes, and we position, you have to buffer, our characters intentionally in front of him, so he actually tries to grab them.
That was a miss, unfortunately.
Yeah, that should have been the last hit. So, yeah, a miss, another miss. So we basically position our characters right in front of him. After a hit, he tries to grab them.
Nice.
There we go. Nice. That was pretty good, actually. Pretty good. That was really nice RPG. I appreciate that.
Don't worry, there's another vampire later.
A worse one, yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, could you run through a roll call for the couch and runners?
I'm StingerPA.
I'm Yagamoth.
I'm Redix.
Poexel.
DJ.
During one of their practice runs, that vampire trolled them so badly, they had to hit it an extra time too because he kept draining their HP.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. I think we had to restock mid-fight, which is not normally possible, by the way.
You get the menu.
Right, thank you. I would have missed that.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you. So we have all our quirks in the speedrunning. There's basically, I'm really bad at menus and navigating and flying. As in, I can't find anything unless I have it written down. And basically, Stinger is pretty much known for choosing the wrong cannon travel location. And the interesting part is, in the current record for one play 2 control, which is 2 hours 4 minutes,
Yes.
and some seconds, he actually chose one of the wrong cannon travel locations.
Yeah, but I still beat his record, so.
You just wanted to kill the bee again.
Actually, that's not the canon travel I went to, but.
Yeah.
Take the scenic route.
It works out, I guess.
Crown Scout will be proud.
You get the Metal Mantis.
Yeah.
It's still selected.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't know if it had enough reach.
Yeah, that's not too far.
So yeah. He gets that boss. And then wait. So the Metal Mantis is pretty interesting in how he works. There are, yeah, that's what usually happens. There are a few things you can do to manipulate him.
I like how the weapons are wrapping to the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. So he tried to manipulate him there again with the attack. But unfortunately, he's defending right now, and he cannot be damaged while he's defending. This was an evasion, so that was 40% chance. Now he has a chance to hit him again. Another evasion, you have to deal the spray.
Yeah. definitely.
Because he can cast pretty nasty spells. If
I'm going to jump in. I got this one.
Yeah, he usually is not a problem, but sometimes it has to be unhittable. You will be dead if you don't heal it. Wow, and while he is hitting, he's also unhittable.
I lost it.
Yeah, sorry about that. I will lock him down with a spell.
Okay.
So you get time to swap the weapons again. So yeah, this is one of the bosses who usually is no problem at all.
Okay.
Nice.
I can control off. Nothing.
That's fine. Yeah.
That guy can be scary because if he had cast a gem missile, it would have killed us.
Yeah, when there are only 2 players and he casts Gem Missile, he does over 200 damage. That's what happens in practice once, and I didn't know that can happen. So that's really impressive if that happens. Jumping things, I love those. How did you say are they called?
They're called Barnacle Jacks.
Barnacle Jacks?
Never heard of them.
Wow, really? I never knew they had a name.
Yeah, we've always called them yellow jumpy things.
By the way, clap, clap. And we go power.
No. SD3 gives them a name, but it's much longer and very Japanese sounding.
Whoops.
Just when you're a controller like I do. Yep.
Okay, that's fine.
I find it kind of fascinating too that there. Well, I know why, but there's like no one in Japan that speedruns this game, which is usually not the case for JRPGs, and that's because the Japanese version of this game is even glitchier than the English version.
Yeah,
mostly in bad ways too.
Yeah, it's glitchier in a very bad way. You take the next boss.
Okay.
And you hit the switch. Yeah, the problem with the Japanese version is it's probably faster, but no one catches right actually. The reason for this is every single boss has the chance of soft locking. Every single one. Yeah, unless you open quickly the menu after you defeat the boss, and that can be pretty tricky at times. Also, there is a certain manipulation which we will point out a bit later during the next Mech Rider fight we are doing right here. Oh, you did that?
I had no idea why, but I did.
That's impressive.
This guy's AI is amazing too.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can see a little bit of manipulation.
He's just gonna gas you out with these sounds.
Exactly. So, and now the speedrun gets finally interesting. Yeah, indeed.
And thankfully, I will be taking it.
Got the thing
Or it might be here for a while.
Don't forget to save after doubles.
Yes. Going to Pandora.
somewhere safe
You
for
fly.
the V-Luck.
So yeah, as I said, I'm horrible at navigating, and especially if I don't have my splits with where I need to go, I leave him to slay. I think I have the text.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do.
Yep.
So normally you have to go pretty much all around the world to do these little side quests.
Yes.
But
We're in a
decided
hurry,
to come
though.
Here.
Got to catch up with the schedule.
Indeed. Pretty much, actually. So here, we climbed the mountain. literally. As in, it's not only faster, but actually much safer, since we have no current armor at this point. You have to point to the right. We have no current armor right now. So those enemies are actually really dangerous if they catch us.
There's been more than a few runs ended here because because the enemies deal so much damage.
I take the go.
Okay.
So here we do a little trick, small little trick. You have to be up above him.
Right. Thank you. That's good.
And
we jump over the wall.
Wow.
Just like that, we skip the spike barrier right there.
Yep.
And
So that's probably about an hour or so worth of the game that you just skipped.
Approximately, yeah.
Like 3 or 4 different dungeons.
Yes. Basically, if you don't know the game, what we just skipped is the Light Palace, the Moon Palace, the Shadow Palace, and the visit to Tasnica, which is quite a bit actually for such a little jump. Oh, sorry, you have it.
You have it now. Okay. I've got the road now.
Seems like, I think pretty much every mana game has a part where you're just going around the world trying to find all the mana spirits.
Yeah, except this one.
Yep.
Yeah, so we are actually not getting the moon, the light, and the darkness spirit. And this has pretty severe consequences later on, since they are more or less required. You run into it.
Oh, I like this fight.
This is amazing, by the way.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. Basically what happens is pretty simple. We die, and the enemies disappear. So yeah. I don't know why they made it like this, but if you essentially die and... How do you say that? Your doppelganger disappears of the character that dies. It's really fast and simple. If you would have to use overcharge, it would take quite a bit of time.
Okay, so Pandora?
Yes. So here we are going to save once again, because in the storyline, well, as much as we skipped of it, would now go to the Sunken Palace. Sunken Palace.
Wait, that's POTUS.
Yeah. There's slow.
Wait, why are you telling me where to go? You don't know the map.
About that. Yeah, in the Sunken Palace, there is going to be another boss fight. It's one of the harder ones, even for a casual play, since he uses wall. And for us, we should get... no, we have already.
Yeah, we're fine.
For us, it's really tricky, since we have outdated armor. And every single spell will kill a character if we let it through.
I've got off. Yeah.
So there's the damage cancelling. There we go. Which we use a healing item or a medical herb to cancel the damage out of a boss, essentially. And this one is no exception. So he will cast Burst, which is one of the most powerful spells in the entire game. And as I said, it will one-shot any of our characters. So our strategy is to position the sprite right in the middle of his hitbox so he doesn't move.
Dark Stalker, who's that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think we skipped it.
Yeah, Tasnica. So what we do is I position the sprite right in the middle of his hitbox. This makes him not move anymore. He will only jump if he is... He will only jump if our characters are to the side of him and not in the middle of him.
You can a lot of dodges.
Yeah, heal only this time.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's using a candy here to cancel out the burst damage.
And then I can use medical orb for the next one.
Indeed. So we need to hit him 4 times, and it's really random in how long it takes until we get those 4 hits.
Nice.
Excellent.
Nice fight.
It looks really easy, but if we had screwed up, that would have gone south very quickly.
Yeah, as I said, it looks easy, but if we make one little mistake somewhere, we are dead.
like mistiming the healing items.
For example, or simply stepping a little bit to the side, too far, or something like that. Also to the side here. Side. Because that works. As I said, unsealed mana seeds have, for some reason, a larger hitbox and interact with them from below. So it gets a bit funky.
And the screen also spazzes out for some unknown reason.
Okay, so that's not the stream machine.
Nope, that's the screen.
Secret of Mana, folks.
It's amazing. Also, as I said, we don't have the moon spirit, Spirit. Okay, we don't have the moon spirit, the darkness spirit, and the light spirit. Am I flying?
I think you might be.
Southwest.
Thank you.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to fly too, just in case.
Yeah, I'm really bad at explaining and doing stuff at the same time, which is why Stinger did most of the work earlier. So what we are going to do here is pretty special, to say the least. I intellect. So what is going to happen is we are saving the game here. Some of you may know there is that trick where you can get the mana sword early.
Yeah, this run's not going too good, so...
Yeah, I think we're going to reset.
We're going to start
Can
over.
you restart the timer?
Yeah.
Don't really.
I hope the schedule is going to be okay. We just need
Basically,
to add another hour and a half or
what
so.
happens with that save file, if we would try to load the save file right now without doing anything else, the game would crash, because the game save is corrupted, since landing next to a save point with Flammy has various special side effects, such as the location does not get saved. But if we soft reset anywhere by holding start select LR for about a few seconds, we can actually basically reset the game and keep the values where we currently are. And then we load the save state and basically save warp into that current scene we are in. What we are doing right now is going to be a bit confusing, I guess. A little bit. So, it is going to be this cutscene right here with the boys on the bridge, whatever.
Soft reset. Load the save.
We get warped to Porter's village, and
we now have invisible characters.
Yeah, which is pretty special, I guess. So,
Southeast.
Yes, I mean, this one I know. That's the only one I know so far.
Oh, is that why you have those markings on your timer?
Yes, I actually absolutely have no idea.
I was always wondering
where.
what those stood for.
I absolutely have no idea where to fly usually. So, since we have one invisible character in the group, we can walk through walls.
But only when text boxes are up.
Yes, only when text boxes are up.
Use balloon to stun these enemies, because otherwise we'll probably get hit.
Yeah, it is very likely that those wolves will mess us up. And so we simply basically travel backwards through the Grand Palace right now. And this is called the Grand Palace backwards, appropriately, I guess. And we just hit 3 triggers there, as in 3 buttons. Now simply move back into the main room. Oh, that was a bit
too early.
We simply move back to the main room. Sometime. Hit the switch, and there's the boss. We just stripped the entirety of the underground palace with 2 bosses, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you had to go back down there in order to get the boss to spawn, basically, to make the game think you've already beaten the rest of the palace.
That's right.
Exactly. The underground palace is completely ignored at this point. Plus, what's also pretty handy is we didn't have to activate any of those orbs in the Grand Palace, which is the crucial thing. If we couldn't do that, the previous skip where we jumped over those spikes would be absolutely, well, almost useless. Also, walking through walls again. That's pretty special as well.
I got a sprite. I'll switch to the way. It's not broken at all.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
second control again.
Reasons why this is good, like 3 hours or so faster than the last time we had this game in a
Yeah,
marathon.
basically the current speed demos archive run is actually not too bad, but it's on the PAL version, which is inherently very slow in comparison because the game speed is simply slower. Also, hang on a second. This fight is really tough because if you make one mess up, it can get pretty ridiculous really quick.
I mean, this is kind of a joke in casual play, just because if you drain all of this boss's MP, it can do literally nothing to you,
Yes.
but
Okay.
they can't do that.
Stinger already made the best setup he can. He walked the sprite right into Hexa's hitbox, so she will not move around anymore. And by doing this, he can stay out of range with the boy easily. Why did it just level? Oh, never mind. Okay, and basically Hexas has a lot of nasty attacks. She has a lot of spells which hurt a lot.
Plus, they can give you statuses like the pygmy that Neil has.
Plus
Got it.
Pygmy. Nice.
Oh,
very
nice.
Yeah. If you don't do Hexa specifically like this in a speedrun, because you have literally no armor and Pygmy engulfed in flames and what's the other one? Dispel will remove your overcharge attack, and it gets really bad really quickly.
You want to take my card?
Yes.
Okay.
So, on a side note, as I pointed out earlier, mech riders have pretty special AI. Yeah, I mean really special.
You saw a little bit of it in the second Mech Rider fight.
Yeah. Basically, we are going to wait down here. There's a little bit of a faster version here, but that's easy to show it like here. So, what we are doing is wait for the mech rider, because he will do literally nothing and simply play slowly at the bottom of the screen around until we hit him.
The way his AI is programmed is that he tries to get down onto our level, but because we're standing at the bottom, he can't do that.
Yeah, quite literally.
Can't quite get down in our level.
Yeah, his hitbox is larger, so he gets blocked by the exit of the bottom of the arena. And he cannot align with us, which he would normally do, and charge around.
So, yeah, he can't really do anything except cast speed up on us.
Yeah, and he does speed up on us for some reason, because he's a moron, I guess. He essentially casts speed up after every single hit. And here's that. So, now for the Pure Lens, right?
Yeah. Longest.
For pure
Yeah, we've got one like 25 minutes or so. It's,
Just don't get hit, you'll be fine.
Yeah, about that. I think we have to play.
I'm not sure who has it. Whatever.
I hope it's
Fly
on
and I'll
third
fly.
controller. Yeah, we simply have to land.
It's not like it's hard to get where we're going on this one.
Yeah, if you forget about it, it's pretty good. Do we save before it?
I don't think we need to.
No, we don't. Okay. I think it's great.
I think I had it.
Excellent. Yeah, we never know who has the cutscene because this game is really quirky. Okay. Simply checking that
restock
we
here.
have everything restocked, which is really crucial. As I said, usually in a run we don't restock anything at all, if, well, it goes well, but that's relying on a fair bit of randomness. Also, here we get the best possible armor to buy in the game, which will be quite an upgrade compared to what we had before. You equip?
Yeah, you swap off.
Yes. So yeah, from 21 to 140, from 34 to 240, and from 10 to 90. As I said, it's quite a discount.
All purchased with fine blat money, too.
Yes.
First flats, go for a watch.
So, what you're about to witness is
Hopefully
Flat
witness.
bucks for nice.
hopefully witness, yeah. Oops. Hopefully witness. It's really finicky. No.
Didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work out. What we're trying to do here is,
We're trying to jump up onto that ledge, is that right?
yeah.
That's what that thing's there for, right?
Oops.
I didn't go for it.
Yeah, that was my fault. So what we are trying to do here is unleash a charged attack from the girl with the sword, so she would land on top of that weird thing, whatever that is. She might be blocked by the screen scroll.
You want me to go to the mountain?
Yeah, let's go over there.
Well, we can't show that off because it takes a while and it may not work.
Yeah, it's pretty special. Essentially, what we tried there is make it work over there, but we have a backup. It's slightly slower, but it works. You want the second controller for that?
Yeah. See if I remember how to set it up. I haven't done this in a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. So he's hitting the rope pole as he is flying away. That's fine. Yeah. So he just hit the rope pole. I need to. No,
Wait,
it's,
did it? Oh, wait. That's right.
yeah, it's
No,
correct. He hit the rope pole as soon as we basically called Flammy, and this activates the rope pole event. It would be a bit funnier if we actually got the other skip, but that's fine as well. Essentially what usually happens when you land on the Mana Fortress early, you take this break, is you get the cutscene and you get sent away, basically. You call Flammy immediately again and you are gone. Which is pretty unfortunate, I guess.
So they basically got the two events of getting
for it
onto
to
the
stop.
rope pole and then the barrier knocking you off the Mana Fortress to cancel each other out. So
Yes,
bye-bye Pure Lands.
Yes, we simply overwrote the cutscene by hitting a rope pole, and that cutscene from the rope pole event was executed at the first possible moment, which is as soon as we land. Although the Mana Fortress is a really tricky place to navigate through quickly, so we have to be a bit careful about that.
You want Buffy?
Yes, big Buffy. So Buffy is the last boss I will be defeating, essentially, and Mr. Stinger will take the rest. Since, as I said, I'm better with movement bosses, but he is much better with precise choices for bosses. So, and here we have Buffy, another annoying vampire, which can stay in the air for...
As long as he wants.
Exactly. Yeah, our signature is pretty good at this point. I will.
Okay.
Do it. Yeah, we use Analyzer here to lock Buffy down in his movement, and he cannot move during it. It doesn't do damage, but it locks him in place, so, as I said, we can basically get an additional hit from that. Yeah, and he is evading right now, since we literally only have about, again, a 60% chance to hit him.
Yeah. Right now I'm just acting as a shield.
I literally missed there. That was actually my fault.
Can you hear me?
Yes, that's a good point. I have no idea what he was eating here. So yeah, he let us do quite a fair amount of damage already. I'm pretty happy about that.
I was just wondering if you heard boss music more.
Which is also pretty well. He grabbed me. He
I've
grabbed
only
me.
got 600 HP. Wait, why can't we scroll the screen?
I've never seen that before. Well, that's a count for that never happened before.
Yep. I knew we would get at least one during this game.
Yeah, hopefully. I heal.
Okay.
Use your cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might want to get a different charge attack. Because you
Yeah,
said
that's
it
true.
earlier.
Okay. As I said, Stinger
That's
is
good.
currently acting as a meat shield, and hopefully I manage to catch that bugger at some point. I need to heal it.
Let it hit first. Or not.
No,
didn't it?
I miss way too often. I mean, he is really nice, giving us really nice RNG, but on the other hand, he does not get hit at all.
Yeah. We're getting nice RNG with him staying down here, but we're getting terrible RNG with actually hitting him.
There we go. Yeah.
Finally.
He was actually nice. He didn't cost. He cast a single spell actually.
Yeah, just
One.
Dark Force. Unfortunately, it hit the boy, but
Yeah. He was nice to us, I guess. So. Here is basically our last stretch where we have to avoid enemies. No, hang on,
well, there's
I'm way too
another
early.
one. Yeah, you are.
Yep, sorry about that. The last stretch where I don't have to do anything anymore. Hang on. Okay, I select both characters to walk past. Could you please move? Which is a bit tricky, but if I execute it properly, it's faster than trying to get the AI character to
You
cooperate.
this.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. I should have swapped off the boy so Stinger could get it, but I forgot about it.
It's okay.
Sorry about that. I got the right charge attack at least, which is nice. So this blob is really interesting. All he does is cast Acid Rain occasionally. If you were to cast your own spells, he would actually also counter with his own spells, which is pretty interesting. But like this, you simply hope he never hits the boy with his Acid Rain. Or doesn't cast at all. You have to buffer. And yeah, eventually we will kill him. Wow, that was really
That was
nice.
amazing. That's definitely the best RNG we've gotten on him since we arrived here.
Yep, that was really nice.
How bad is it if he acid rains the boy?
Well,
Depends. You can cancel it with a candy and it doesn't really matter too much other than the time loss. But if you don't cancel it, it can knock the boy away and possibly keep him from even being able to reach
yeah,
with his attacks. And that would effectively soft lock the game.
yeah, kind of. He can kill us eventually.
Yeah, he would kill us eventually, but for all intents and purposes, it would be dead.
Oh, I messed up.
You should be on Sprite.
True. So yeah, by the way, we just power grinded about 5 levels.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're so under leveled, we got about 5 levels there.
So yeah, we have to really pay attention to not get hit everywhere. Some hits are fine, even if not desired. But some of the enemies are way stronger than others. For example, those orange knight ninja whatever things. They spawned everything. Oh, almost.
I forgot to despawn that.
Nice. Okay, those orange knights, for example, not those yellow ones, can literally one-shot us, as in they don't deal damage. They quite simply kill. Also, that does a fair bit of damage. I hope this guy doesn't attack us. As I said, those orange guys are really scary. And that's what I mean.
That. Good idea.
And as I said, I'm really bad at menus. Just far enough.
Okay, we got there.
That's fine. So you select the boy, and let's go. The last stretch. So, there are a few more things upcoming on this boss. I hope we get a special surprise.
We need a special mode.
Yeah, but it's very random. And setting it up is pretty precise and random, I guess.
Let's just say that the Dark Lich really likes his theme music.
Yeah. Best boss
Pretty
music.
awesome theme music.
Yeah, in my opinion, that's one of the best thematic boss music. Not necessarily best music, but best boss music. So, once again, I will play Meat Shield here. Simply position the sprite the nearest to the Dark Lich, so he will target his spells against me. And Stinger will simply try to kill him as quick as possible.
Also, we got 3 cups and pushes.
What? Are we all?
No, we got 3.
Okay.
So,
Good to
one
know.
Then we want to cross
Wow.
you.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, the
No,
only
it's
cross is
fine
one.
now. Okay. Here we have a chance to pick up with the book. Let's try it. Come on. Stick out your head up. Stick out your head. Come on. Please.
Oh,
Yeah. If it doesn't happen, we will explain it. You need to heal me, I think. Oh, I need
buffer.
to buffer. Okay.
Buffer. Oh, we got another chance at it. Oh, maybe not.
He doesn't want to. You need to heal me next time. Balloon, okay. Oh, it's possible.
Oh, crap. That's still the same slash. Buffer. I got this one. Okay.
Yeah. Some attacks can target in other places aside from the nearest one, and balloon ring is one of those. Actually, it doesn't matter. He will one-shot me anyway if I mess it up. So please take your head out. So yeah.
Yay!
Come on. Wait a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just going to let
This
it
is the
headbang.
Thanatos headbang. He bangs to his music. So he's basically stuck. Oh, for the most part. He rarely gets out of this. Very, very rarely. And he's dead.
Apparently not so rarely.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and cure.
Yeah. Need to take the boy again.
Alright.
I didn't mess it up, so I couldn't stay. It's very precise to stand exactly in the middle of him. Ooh, that was actually really scary. So, okay, that's fine.
You saw the headbang at least.
Yeah, as I said, usually he cannot get out of this at all.
There we go.
Nice.
So, he's got a little mixed up. You're on the boy now, by the way.
Oh. Yeah. He usually cannot get out of this at all, except sometimes when you open and close the menu. The best thing that can happen is if he immediately
Switch to the girl.
swap the weapon.
Alright. I always forget that. Okay.
The best thing that can happen at Dark Lich is he immediately goes into the headbang mode, and you can slash and kill him without him casting anything. The second best thing that can happen that he never dives on the ground, and you can simply straight up kill him. Who has to next?
I have no idea.
So, yeah, that happens all the time. So here's the second last glitch. Oh, the wrong side.
No, you're fine. You'll go on to the other side, remember?
Oh, yeah, I always forget that. Sorry about that. Oh yeah. Here is the second last glitch. What we are doing is call out the mana sword right now already. Which luckily doesn't cost that much mana. That was safety. I think it was still work. So, what we just did there, or I just did there I guess, is I cast the mana sword first with the girl, waited a little bit, and then cast it with the sprite. While the sprite was just finishing his cast, I ran onto that teleporting thing. And essentially what happened is I cancelled out the animation, which usually occurs when you first call out the mana sword, which is about 25 seconds of animation, which entirely freezes the screen. You can do nothing about it, except this, well. So, and the last glitch, well, the last new glitch, I guess, is going to happen right now. Also, I love that music. It's over.
Definitely a good way to end the run with this music.
Yeah, now it's the Meridian dance. So, last glitch. I don't have mana.
You got enough.
Oh, it's the Guardian.
Sprite has 10 MP too.
You better take that one, by the way.
Yes, I should.
Okay. So, what I just did there is I casted.
Wait, which one did you hand me?
Oh, sorry, that was inverted.
We've got the menu open
Get
right now.
Andrew G in here to juggle the controls.
I unselect.
Wait.
I unselect.
Okay.
You need to cast soon. So yeah, once again, what I did there is I activated the mana sword, and right afterwards, nice, you got the right attack. And right afterwards, I casted.
Can you give me
Frost Saber? Yeah. Oh, wait. The Frost Saber basically cancels out the mana.
Other person.
Whoops. Yeah, that's. By the way, we usually get it here. The Frost Saber cancels out the mana sword timer because the mana sword is actually a weapon and not element. So it keeps the weapon and overrides the timer from the mana sword, which usually doesn't last too long unless you level up the mana spirit. So, and the reason why I use actually the mana sword instead of the spear, even though the spear would technically do the exact same amount of damage, is actually pretty simple because the mana sword has an almost 100% chance to hit, which is extremely handy. You need to heal.
So why are you going in and out of the menu there?
I'm doing that to buffer the charge attack.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't explain that, I guess. That's the last one.
Okay.
So yeah, I buffer as soon as I can.
I'm gonna reset this.
Yes. Oh yeah, we didn't explain how we store the charge. Basically what happens is we open the menu. Right here, we open the menu at the specific point, close the menu, unleash the charge attack, and basically hold the charge attack at the specific points. It's relatively hard to explain right now, but if you would like to know how specific those things work, there should be somewhere an FAQ I wrote. I forgot about that. And in the FAQ are most of the basic things explained already. So I'm going to take candy right here because why not?
time is after the last
after,
hit,
so
so I'll let you know. It's soon. Oops, why did I do that? I don't know.
Just keep attacking.
Yes.
So, get ready.
Time.
2:13 exactly.
Very nice.
Good play. Second place.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah. Even though we had all those safety saves in it, it still beats the current two-player co-op run.
Yeah, the previous record for a co-op run was 2:16.24.
Yeah.
By you guys?
No, Covassus and Shady.
But they didn't run this in quite a while.
Yeah,
So it's
that
a
was
pretty
several
old run.
months ago.
But it was a pretty good run at the time. But I'm pretty happy we beat that today. So I think the incentive for the Glitch Fest was met, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Okay, so
I'll never forget Batman either.
yeah, poor Batman. So I will let this cutscene play a little bit and basically pull up my notes so I don't forget anything. So it shouldn't take too long, I think. We will see about that. So basically, as we said earlier, you can save warp pretty much anywhere. This includes these ending cutscenes. And what happens, well, I guess I simply show it right now. Well, not right now, as in when the cutscene comes up.
Yeah, it'll be the first cutscene that comes up after this.
So right here, you can see they meet those other people right here. Now I save warp into it. Load the Frost Forest save, and we are in this cutscene with no music.
Why don't you fix that?
Is it right though?
Yes.
Pretty sure it's right though. Okay, we have some music. And they are still standing here. They don't talk though. They don't talk at all. Also, I wonder what's in that shop. Cannot tell us. Excellent. So yeah, also I think it's a bit cold in here, so I suggest we move on to the desert. So that was one part. The next one is a bit more extensive. And I prepared this save file here. This save file is pretty special in a few ways. Take one controller. And yeah, for one, we have 3 swords. Which is not normally intended, by the way. Just in case you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, if I open the menu, you can see no one has equipped anything actually. So
the way that is done is an extension of the equipment trashing glitch, where you saw us duplicating items through it, but you can also do other things like unequip your weapons.
Yep.
Oh, that's new.
Oh, right.
This cutscene is pretty special, but usually you're supposed to have only one character in it. So, yeah. Which is pretty weird, I guess. Also, the sprite is AI controlled, and he considers this to be an enemy. But since this is a no combat scene, nothing happens with him. Also, click on. Let's push the girl a bit over here. This is the NPC girl. You look delicious. So yeah, by the way, the pot has no hitbox, I can't push water in there. Which is pretty interesting. Click on. Simply go on through the cutscene.
Okay.
Basically until I say stop. So yeah, the girl tries to free the girl, I guess.
Yes.
Come on. And I feel like that's not appropriate. So I push her into the middle of the goblins. Again, this is pretty strange, I guess. But our girl will somehow magically come out again anyways. And that's that. So, for now, again, I can save her into any cutscene. This is also pretty special to save her into this one. Because you're not supposed to be here. Those things are weird. Also here, those things
Yeah, there's not exactly a barrier.
Yeah. Also, what's in this house? Music. And what's in this house? Nice.
The water tower.
Yeah,
That's a big house.
that's a really big house. But now we know where the goblins sneak in the night. Nothing's happening. Okay.
No, nothing's happening. What about from this side?
Oh. I see. Okay. So next one on the list is the infinite scroll. That's yours.
Yeah, unselect first.
You have the
Oh,
first
right.
controller. Unselect that one.
There we go.
Yeah.
You can have it.
So this one will take a little bit longer to set up, unfortunately, but it's worth it. Trust me. So who has played Secret of Mana before? Okay, pretty much everyone. So you know how to play it, right?
This intro looks different.
Yeah, for some reason.
This run has made me question a great many things about my life choices this far.
Don't these screens usually scroll around?
Yeah, they should actually.
Yeah.
Huh. That's weird.
Yeah. I think you did something wrong. Kind of.
How did this one happen? Did it involve where you came from for that?
No, it was soft resetting while having the first controller on the girl, and it results in a couple interesting things.
Yes, indeed. Why don't you hand off the controller to someone who can actually play that correctly?
Okay.
So simply mash through the cutscene. That's as normal. But if you pay close attention, the boy doesn't actually fall all the way for some reason. I think he's a ghost. He's already dead.
Wait a minute, the ghost on the falls is me.
Whoops. So yeah, now simply try to pick up the sword. If you can do that.
Yeah, good luck.
What?
Yeah, about that. Watch the sorting sword.
Let's see a sword.
Sword.
There it is.
Now it's gone.
Exactly. Can I get it again? Thank you. Yeah. Soft resetting in Secret of Mana has a great many side effects, and that's one of them.
Here's all the screen
Hey, there
scoring
he
that was
is.
supposed to happen during the intro. That's where it went.
That's exactly how it is.
Back to the sword.
Okay. So, the last portion, I need to get some save file. It doesn't matter which one. So we are here, where we shouldn't be actually. Can we? Like this. But that's not what we are going for. So, the magic rope has also its interesting quirks. For example, the Pandora Castle has a pretty special place. It is pretty special, actually. So, actually load this wrong save file. Hang on. It doesn't matter, I can load it afterwards. So, for example, this room is special, very special. If you go inside, you can go outside again. Nice. Okay. But if you go inside, and for some reason choose to use the magic rope right here, and go outside, you spawn in the room again. Which is, I guess, a little bit normal since you entered here, but Then I tried to go outside again, and it looks a little bit different. Oh. I guess that works. So we cannot get out of here anymore. So the only reason is the only thing left is to reset and load a save file. Yeah, we are in the wall, right around here. And we are basically stuck right now. Nothing we can do about it. Except there is a way out of it, I guess. And if you know, hang on, we didn't save it.
I definitely saved it.
Okay. That's weird. Okay, what is supposed to happen here? we are supposed to have a blood item and simply use it. But that somehow disappeared, I guess.
It was definitely on the Cups of Wishes. You saw it.
Yeah, I know. So I guess that's it. Unfortunately, I couldn't crash the game. Oh, actually, I can't crash the game.
There we go.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, that was easy. So that was the glitch test. So yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you to the Spectre of Mana guys, especially also to Mecha Rector for those amazing prizes. I'm really happy about those.
I want that flamey brawler.
That would be amazing. Also, I would like to mention the next run, Star Fox 64. I think currently ahead is the high score run, and I watched a little bit of it, and it's amazing. You really want to watch that. So that's it from me. Thank you.
All right, guys, that was Secret of Mana by StingerPA and Yagamoth. Coming up next will be Star Fox 64. Real quick, I'm going to read this donation. It says, StingerPA, being involved in early cancer detection and prevention, we are proud of your efforts to help with Prevent Cancer Foundation. Good luck from Mom and Dad. And welcome back. This is Awesome Games Done Quick 2014. This is a marathon that where all the proceeds go to the Prevent Cancer Foundation.